Wisconsin lets you carry just $10,000 in property damage liability. That sounds fine until you total someone's brand new pickup truck worth 35 grand. Now you're personally on the hook for $25,000 that your insurance won't touch. This catches people all the time, and we're going to walk through exactly what Wisconsin requires, what it doesn't, and what actually protects you. By the end of this, you'll know exactly what Wisconsin law requires, where the real gaps are, and what coverage actually makes sense for someone living in the Twin Cities area or anywhere in Wisconsin. Wisconsin requires 25,000 per person and 50,000 per accident in bodily injury, AE, injury liability. That's reasonable, but property damage, 10,000. Average vehicle in Wisconsin is worth more than 30 grand. I see this in my agency all the time. Like, someone carries the minimum, causes an accident, and suddenly they're looking at a personal judgment. Plus, Wisconsin requires uninsured motorist coverage at the same 25/50 limits because about 14% of Wisconsin drivers are on the road without insurance. That's the law. But what's not required matters just as much. Wisconsin is an at-fault state, which means after an accident, you're relying on the other driver's insurance to cover your medical bills. If they have minimum limits and your injuries run 60 grand, you're stuck fighting with their insurance and falling back on your own health plan with deductibles and co-pays. Medical payments coverage, or med pay, costs $5 to $15 a month and pays your medical expenses regardless of who caused it. No deductible. I recommend it to every client because it fills a real gap that the minimum requirements leave wide open. Here's where Wisconsin gets specific. The state averages 30 to 60 inches of snow, depending on where you are. Ice accidents are constant. Wisconsin also sits in the top 5 for deer collisions nationwide. Comprehensive coverage is what pays for hitting a deer. Without it, you're out several grand when a buck walks into traffic on a rural road. Same thing with hail. The southern half of Wisconsin gets hammered May through September. Comprehensive covers it. Collision covers if you slide on ice into a tree. The minimum requirements don't include either one, and that's a real problem for our Wisconsin drivers. The biggest mistake I see is people thinking that because Wisconsin requires uninsured motorist coverage, they're protected if an uninsured driver hits them. You are, but only up to your limits. If you carry minimum 25/50 and face a seriously injured passenger, that money runs out fast. Then what? Underinsured motorist coverage isn't required, but it should be. It picks up where the other driver's liability ends. Clients ask me this every week, and the answer is always the same. The minimums feel cheap until you need them. If you're in Wisconsin or the Twin Cities, don't guess on this. Call us right now at 763-733-7475. We're licensed in Wisconsin, Minnesota, and 7 other states.